What it do, y'all? It's your boy ShinobiRadixan, and for today's near 1 year week, we taking a personality test. So, in specific, we're taking the Myers-Briggs test. It's been quite a while since I've taken this test. I think I took it. I think it was like freshman year of college, maybe like sophomore year of high school. It was a really long time ago. I remember getting. I think it was the mediator. But yeah, I decided to do this. It's gonna be kind of like a two-part kind of thing because we're gonna take two different ones just to get like a better like understanding. Reason behind going ahead and doing these though is because I know for me personally, when I got really into a channel or like a content creator on YouTube, I pretty much just got attracted to their personality, like how they are, what they do, things that they like, shit like that. So I thought, why not do this and then another one so you guys get to know a little bit more about me. Okay, you regularly make new friends. This is a. I'm gonna go ahead and say this one just because I'm not like the most sociable. So when I go out, I just tend to stick with my homies, and then that's it. If they introduce me to people, I'll go ahead and like continue the conversation, but I don't go out and really like start the conversation. I'm really like introverted. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. Strongly agree. If you guys were to see my like YouTube history, there's a whole bunch of shit. Right now, I don't know why it came up in my recommended, but some girl was making like Ratatouille from the Pixar, and I just you know what I mean? Like you fall into that hole and you start watching a bunch of random shit. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Um, I think back in the day I would have put strongly agree, but I'm gonna go kind of right there with movies and like anime, shit like that. It it'll get me to feel some type of way, but I gotta be like really invested to go ahead and actually like cry about it. You can usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. This one, I'm gonna go with yes. There's a thing with good stress and bad stress. In both situations, I feel like I have somewhat good control over like my emotions. Obviously, with bad stress, it's a little more towards like over here than with good stress being over here. That's why I went ahead and put it in the middle. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. This one, I'm gonna go right here because it just depends on the project. Like I can go ahead and work on multiple videos at a time and I can go ahead and hop back and forth between them, but some obviously take priority just because of the schedule that I have for the channel. But that's really like the only time where I'm like, nope, have to do this shit in order. But if I'm ahead, which I usually am, I'll go ahead and kind of hop between them. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Absolutely not. Knowledge, I feel like you gain more through your mistakes and through things that you're not like fully like in the moment you don't know that it was the wrong decision until the aftermath. I love learning like that way because it sticks with you more than like when you succeed and you do make those like right like moves or right decisions. Believe me, it's great to always make the right decision first go, but usually sometimes what I mean, you need to get hit by reality with some kind of decisions, and you learn a lot from it and you grow a lot more, I think personally, from those mistakes. You're not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analysis of creative work. So not too interested. Disagree would be interested, right? Because I'm always for finding like new things, new content creators, things like that. So I'm all for creativity and the different views. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. Um, Honestly, yeah. I know first impressions are the thing that like makes you like most memorable to somebody when you initially meet them, but I'm not like super extroverted. Like I don't really like talking to people that I don't know and like opening up to them and all that shit. Like when I initially meet them, it takes time, and I feel like the best relationships, friendship, or intimate, they come from longevity rather than instantaneous. You enjoy participating in group activities. Absolutely. When you get the homies all together, bro, that shit is crazy. Especially when we out just doing stupid shit and just having a good time. Abso-fucking-lutely. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Anything that makes you think or makes you wonder. If you go into the movie with questions and you come out with more questions, 9 times out of 10, something happened within the movie that made you like think in a different perspective. Same thing with like an anime or a show. Absolutely. You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I don't necessarily find it difficult, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it here. The only thing that would like hold me back from going to strongly agree, when I do have a lot of things that interest me, I want to like focus on one just to get like a good solid basis on that particular like subject or task, whatever the case might be. And then once I feel like I have a good foundation there, then I can move on to the next one. And then if I wanted to build up on that foundation that I've created, I could go back to it later. So I think we're gonna go with this one. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. This one's kind of interesting because I don't worry about worst case scenarios, but I do think about worst case scenarios like firsthand. Like that's the first thing that I think of. I know it might sound like a pessimistic kind of thing, but I mean, think about it, man. If you think about like, the worst possible fucking situation, and what ends up actually happening is nowhere near that situation, doesn't the outcome just seem a lot more sweeter? I don't know. That's just how my fucking brain works. All right. So as far as worrying, no, you're definitely not an artistic type of person. Strongly disagree. What the hell? Um, I feel like if you're doing any kind of, YouTube, Twitch, designing, music, art, obviously, anything in that creative realm, I feel like you're an artistic type, especially if you can come up with an idea, go ahead, execute it, and at least somebody likes it, you're on the right path. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings? I strongly agree with this one. And look, Thanos was right. Think about it. If you're going ahead and going through life just going off of feelings, you're gonna end up in situations that really, if you just thought it through logically, you wouldn't have to deal with, whatever is going on, go about your day, whatever. Sometimes you do need to think with feelings. I feel like with more like global kind of things and things that affect the community, you got to think rationally and logically in order to go ahead and actually progress. Your mood can change very quickly. If I'm hungry for sure, if I have like a headache. But I'll put neutral because it's definitely very situational. You often end up doing things at the last minute possible. Oh, back then, strongly agree. Now, absolutely not. I'm usually ahead of like everything that I need to do. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. Absolutely. I'm not like the most religious, you know what I mean? Like I have like some kind of spiritual inclination, but I love just seeing what people's thoughts are after death and like how everything was created. If we're in like a simulation, like weird shit like that. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Absolutely not. I feel like when it gets more theoretical, you could start like picking at people's brains and or trying to see like where they're coming from. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. Strongly agree. Fully believe things happen for a reason. They happen at the time that they happen to better improve yourself, your character, your beliefs, what you stand on. Ain't no going back. And I honestly, everything that's happened in my life, I wouldn't change it for nothing. Because it's gotten me here today. You know what I mean? And I'm happy with where I'm at. And, if you're ever unhappy of where you're at, well, get your ass up and start doing something about it. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. Absolutely. I feel like, so if you get into like some kind of, debate or conversation and it's two very conflicting views, I feel like in the end, if both of you agree to disagree, but understand where the other person is coming from, I feel like that's still a success. If you guys, come out the conversation still believing what each other believes, but cannot for any reason understand where the other person is coming from and look at it through their point of view and understand it through that, I feel like that's just a waste of fucking time. Always try to see where at least the other person is coming from, and you'll end up, might using that for, another time. Conversation comes up in the future and it's somewhat the same point of view that the other person had, and you've been through that conversation, so now you're even more understanding of where that person is coming from. It's just useful to know different, points of views for certain things. You rarely wow, cannot fucking read. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. I'm gonna say strongly agree, because I've always had those days where just like all day you just think about like, why are we here as a human? And you have all these theories and all this shit. It's really interesting to look at all of them. So I agree. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. Absolutely not. Sometimes it is spontaneous, but I'm gonna say 90% of the time it's very well planned out. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. Most of the time, yeah, because I want to do YouTube and a whole bunch of other stuff, and that requires a lot of collaboration. But I do like enjoying like self work and just putting your own blood, sweat, and tears into it. But I guess that's what the beginning of the grind is, right? And then after that, it's like smooth sailing for the most part. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time? Absolutely not. Let your mind flow. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. This highly agree, just because I grew up in San Diego and we lived literally like 15-minute walk from the border of Tijuana. Throughout the day and throughout the night, just cars and people and sirens always going off. So I'm more used to that than quiet places. All right, almost done. You often feel overwhelmed? Absolutely not. I like stress, but it doesn't make me feel overwhelmed. It makes me feel like motivated and makes me stay on track. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more? Absolutely fucking not. I'm good with everybody getting theirs, but I gotta get my first, baby. Absolutely not. You feel confident that things will work out for you? Absolutely. Like I said, as long as you work on whatever it is that you need to work on, something's gonna hit. In an interview with E40, I think it was, I can't remember what exactly he said, but it took him a while to get into, the position that he is in music. And he says something along the lines of, you just gotta keep on throwing shit to the wall, and then eventually something is gonna stick. It's when you don't capitalize on that thing that sticks that you start to see that decline again, and you missed your shot. Sometimes you can get it back, sometimes you can't. But as soon as you get that one thing that sticks, ride that shit. Ride that shit like that shit is every fucking day that you just got that hit. Okay, let's see what we get. Advocate. Oh, so it's still within the same family of the greens. This trait determines how we interact with our environment. Introverted, extroverted. Yeah, I strongly agree with it. Sometimes I feel like I'm 100% introverted, but it definitely does depend on like who I'm talking to, where I'm at, things like that. Energy. This trait shows where we direct our mental energy. Observant, intuitive. Yeah, intuition. I ride with my gut. My gut has never done me wrong. Observing things, I've made a couple mistakes doing that shit. So sticking with my gut for sure. Holy shit, look at these. 85, 88. What is this? Tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. Judging, prospecting. Yeah, definitely more planned out than spontaneousness. This I feel like will always stay in this realm. Sometimes this will be a little bit higher, but I feel like this is very spot on. Identity. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. Assertive, turbulent. Absolutely. If you feel like you can, make something 10 times better than what it actually is now, fucking do it. Don't doubt yourself, because then you're going to be over here fucking a follower rather than a leader. Advocates are the rarest personality types of all. Oh shit, I'm a rare breed, bitch. I knew it. Still, advocates leave their mark on the world. They have a deep sense of idealism and integrity, but they aren't idle dreamers. They take concrete steps to realize their goals and make a lasting impact. As far as this though, like you aren't an idle dream. Oh well, idle dreamers. Okay, yeah. Because I was gonna say I do have like dreams and aspirations, but it's definitely very like step by step. Like there's an end goal. That here's the plan to get to that end goal. Things come into play like obstacles. Things try to hold you back. Doesn't matter. That end goal is always gonna be there. That's always gonna be the goal. Doesn't matter what kind of path you got to take to get to that goal. Advocates' unique combination of personality traits makes them complex and quite versatile. For example, advocates can speak with great passion and conviction, especially when standing up for their ideals. At other times, however, they may choose to be soft-spoken and understand preferring to keep the peace rather than challenge others. Standing up for what's right. Advocates generally strive to do what's right, and they want to help create a world where others do the right thing as well. People with this personality type may feel called to use their strengths, including creativity, imagination, and sensitivity, to uplift others and spread compassion. Concepts like egalitarianism and karma can mean a great deal to advocates. Absolutely. What goes around comes around. If you put out that negative energy, you're gonna get that shit back. If you put out that positive energy, you're gonna get that shit back. It's not always gonna be an equal eye for an eye. It's not gonna be right away sometimes. Some things take time. That's just how it is. But definitely want to, be that inspiration, be that motivation for other people. Advocates may see helping others as their purpose in life. They are troubled by injustice and they typically care more about altruism than personal gain. As a result, advocates tend to step in when they see someone facing unfairness or hardship. Many people with this personality type also aspire to fix society's deeper problems in the hope that unfairness and hardship can become things of the past. 100%. This is super, super spot on. I've struggled a lot with like finding out what I want to do in life and the things that like interest me and the things that, I would love to do as a career and as my financial income, like main sources of income. All have to do with, or all deal with being some kind of inspiration or having some kind of voice. Connecting with others and themselves, advocates may be reserved, but they communicate in a way that is warm and sensitive. This emotional honesty and insight can make a powerful impression on the people around them. Advocates value deep, authentic relationships with others, and they tend to take great care with others' people's feelings. That said, these personalities also need to prioritize reconnecting with themselves. Advocates need to take some time alone now and then to decompress, recharge, and process their thoughts and feelings. This one I don't necessarily agree with. Like this part, I can definitely just go like 0 to 100 and stay at 100 for quite a while and not need, like a break, but definitely in certain situations, alone time, making sure you think through the whole situation, that is a big necessity. Let's go into strengths and weaknesses, see what that is. Creative, insightful, principled, passionate, altruistic, sensitive to criticism. I don't know, if you're telling me something but you don't have anything to back it up, like, oh, your videos are shit. Okay, well, what makes them shit? They're just shit. That ain't gonna help nobody, bro. You're just hating. If you say something like, they could be better because of this, and this, well then, okay, cool, because you can work to improve. Reluctant to open up, absolutely. Perfectionistic, is that really a weakness? I guess so, because then you lose yourself into your work and kind of forget about the outside world. I've done that quite a few times. Avoiding the ordinary and prone to burnout. This one, I feel like over the years, I've gotten much better at this. Advocates tend to seek a career path that aligns with their values rather than one that offers status and material gain. Fortunately, people with this personality type are able to find work that suits them in just about any field. In fact, many advocates have trouble deciding which job is best for them because they're able to imagine so many possibilities. I 100% agree with this because I like I said, I want to do YouTube, I want to do Twitch at some point, I want to do music, and then a whole bunch of other shit that I would love to go ahead and dabble in. And it goes back to one of the questions where it's like, do you finish one thing and then move on to the next one? It's that thing. I want to have a good foundation in all those things, and then, if one interests me more at a particular time, I can start building up on that. but it's getting that foundation on all of those. That's the key, at least for me. A sense of mission. In truth, advocate personalities can do well in any field. To be truly happy, however, they need to find work that aligns with their values and allows them some independence. Advocates crave opportunities to learn and grow alongside the people they are helping. When this happens, advocates may finally feel as if they are fulfilling their life's mission, contributing to the well-being of humanity on a personal level. I like this paragraph because it's one thing you yourself growing, but it's seeing those around you grow as well. You gotta spread the fruits of your labor, or else if you have a weak circle, that shit's gonna crumble and it's gonna take you down with it for sure. Conclusion. Few personality types are as passionate and enigmatic as advocates. As someone with this personality type, you stand out for your imagination, your compassion, your integrity, and your deeply held principles. Unlike many other idealistic types, however, you are also capable of turning your ideals into plans and executing them. Yet advocates face challenges too. Even the most idealistic and dedicated of personality types can become frustrated when it comes to navigating interpersonal conflicts, confronting unpleasant facts, pursuing self-realization, or finding a fulfilling career path. As a result, you may sometimes find yourself questioning who you really are and who you're really meant to be. Absolutely. This is a question I feel like everybody should be asking themselves, not just people of the same advocate personality type or within this same like field. I feel like everybody should find their purpose and capitalize on it. That'll go ahead and conclude it for this one. I actually really like this 16 personalities one because it has like 4 variations of a certain group and it has those like 4 like main groups. So it's nice to have that kind of fluidity and it doesn't like just box you in and say this is who you are all the time, 100% of the time. Let me know what you guys ended up with, because you know we might be the same shit and you might be a rare breed like me, baby, or you might be one of the other ones. But it's interesting to see like the different traits that they can go ahead and pull out from other people. Like I said, this is part 1 of 2. I'm gonna go ahead and take another test. This one I'm not entirely sure because there's 2 other tests that really caught my attention, so we'll see on which one that I take, and then that'll be part 2. But I think it'll be good to have like a variety of different insights and different tests that go ahead and look more towards other things and have different questions on there too. So hopefully you guys enjoyed though. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about me. Breaking the ice, saying, you know, this is me. This is what you can kind of see what it is being into my shoes and how it all works. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead, sub, like, all that good shit. Follow me on Twitter. Other than that, I appreciate y'all. Much love, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. SD, she's always on my mind. I got the fitted, baby. I'm